The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. I welcome you all to 2026. I thank you so much for the love you are showing me. Those who are liking, sharing, commenting, I say thank you so much. My super thanks gifters, my kings and queens, my anonymous supporters, everybody that was with me in 2025, I say thank you. This wouldn't have been possible without you. And I'm so glad for the love and the encouragement and the support you are giving to me in order for us to fight for the total liberation of Africa. And all in all, the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loved, Captain Ibrahim Traore is also sending a very warm and special thank you to all of us for the support, the love that we have shown them, and we continue to support them. And according to him, we need to expect more from them, because in this 2026 a lot of things will happen, and we know when it comes to these our leaders, they will always give us nothing but the best. He talked about a special operation that was in Burkina Faso, and this operation is called Operation Wall of Ice. And according to him, this operation was in Burkina Faso that they were using to make sure they destabilize the country, but they are able to neutralize this operation. And according to him, they will continue to make sure they fight for the total liberation of Burkina Faso and to give peace to the people in Burkina Faso. And he also went ahead to talk about reclaiming of the land.
Prisoners can experience a reconversion. Instead of sleeping in prison, we will make sure that they can participate, learn from their work, and reintegrate into society. This new way of seeing justice allows no one to be left out. All those who want to build the country will have their say. Whether you are free or in detention, we will make sure that you can participate in the construction of the country, that you can buy back and reintegrate into society. At the time of the year 2026, it is still an honor for me to take the floor and give you an exhaustive assessment of the year 2025 and also the prospects for the year 2026. But above all, allow me to thank God for all the benefits during the year 2025. And I continue to pray to God that 2026 will be better than 2025. Allow me also to pay a vibrant tribute to our valiant combatant forces, national armed forces, volunteers for the defense of the homeland, interior security forces who watch day and night so that our homeland remains and remains standing. I pray for the rest of the souls of all those who lost their lives in this fight against this barbarism, and also I wish a prompt recovery to all those who were physically and mentally injured in this war. 2025 was a year when many projects began. Speaking of the sector of defense and security, this sector that interests us so much in this fight, many forms were consented in the recruitment of personnel at the level of the different forces. Also, several formations were started within our own armies in an androgynous way, which allowed to create many specific units that do a remarkable job on the battlefield. In terms of equipment, there was the arrival during the year 2025 of a lot of heavy equipment, but also strategic equipment that we did not want to present. This equipment will continue, and the reinforcement of the troops will also continue during the year 2026, and the war will continue to intensify, and our army will continue to rise in power. Several operations took place on the battlefield. We mainly remember an audacious operation that was launched 2 months ago. The operation that was baptized L'Almazga, in French, Wall of Ice. This audacious operation allowed our fighting forces to land in the enemy's sanctuary, where for 5 to 6 years we thought it was impossible to reach. Our units set foot and reconquered this area. These operations allowed us to reconquer several dozens of villages, passing through the Nakambe region. Napade, in particular, on the outskirts of the Kompianga Dam, going up through Namungu and the Gulmu, passing through Zagaadagan in the Kulse, but also the area of Namsigia around Gibo and Tolf Yersi between Gibo and Titao. These operations were carried out with the greatest audacity, and the enemy was crushed on the passage of our fighting forces, who settled there and continued their progress as they went. The operations will continue to the limit of our borders to defeat this hybrid terrorist who disturbs the quiet of Burkina. The army will continue to increase in power, the internal security forces as well. There will be a small change that will allow the VRDP to project itself further forward to support the other forces. This conflict situation has also made that we unfortunately have internal displaced people who are still waiting to rejoin their villages. The reconquest continues, of course, but at the level of humanitarian action, we have undertaken a number of steps during 2025, notably by building shelters initially for those who are hosted in certain villages. But for those who have been reinstated, we have made a lot of effort by rebuilding schools, by drilling, by landscaping lands, to be able to reinstate them so that they can live with dignity when they return to their respective villages. We will continue this trend because we do not want our people who return to their villages to remain in the system. We want them to be able to contribute, to be able to produce, and to be able to live with dignity. This is why the Ministry of Humanitarian Action is based on the different ministries to be able to accompany all these internally displaced people when they return to their villages to be able to settle and therefore have enough to work in their respective villages. This trend will continue for a long time since many villages are being reconquered at the moment I speak. Each villager who is reinstated must be able to work and feed himself. Speaking of the health sector, several efforts have been made. This includes the construction of municipal medical centers, which we saw in 2025, and this trend will continue. Some are in the finishing stages, but others are in the early stages of construction. The equipment of these centers will therefore increase the level of care offered to our populations. For the existing centers, the technical plateau has been improved in terms of laboratories, in terms of imaging. These care offers will continue to improve for the benefit of our populations, but also for the benefit of the populations of our neighboring countries, because the number of patients from neighboring countries has seen a considerable increase in the course of 2025, mainly due to our policy of reducing the cost of healthcare. We will continue in this dynamic in the course of 2026 with the installation of 9 health centers in the image of the Pala Health Center. All these infrastructures will therefore know a beginning in the course of 2026. In the field of education, several projects have taken place, including the mutation and modernization of our educational structures, the construction of which will now go up, and therefore there is a project for 2026 to be the effective date of the implementation of this type of education center throughout the year and throughout the national territory. You know that we are in a mutation to mitigate the effect of general education and focus on technical and professional education. This mutation is underway. Many technical and professional high schools will be born, but also very well equipped to meet the needs of the development of our country. On the side of our students, many university centers will be born in the course of the year 2026. But already in 2027, we started the construction of a certain number of amphitheaters and pedagogical buildings. Some are in the final phase and others will end up in 2026. We will continue this dynamic to allow all university centers and all universities to be able to study in a dignified way, and also modernization in terms of the internet and virtual education will continue because we have just acquired a certain number of servers for the benefit only of universities so that students can have online libraries. This dynamic will continue. The laboratories will continue to rise in power, and we will thus give our students a space to take theoretical courses, but also to practice and express themselves so that little by little, their education goes from a theoretical education to a practical education for production for the benefit of our populations. In the field of infrastructure, a lot of effort has been made. During the year 2025, as you know, 4 regions have benefited from their road construction brigades. Other specific equipment for terraces and also for concrete are arriving. And during the year 2026, if God permits, 4 other regions at the beginning of the year will be equipped with road construction brigades. And this will be the effective beginning of the construction of a certain number of national and departmental roads, in addition to the motorways that are planned. We want to go at a sustained pace, which requires us to equip all the regions before we can project effectively, as was the case with the launch of the motorway works. We have opted to change the model of urbanism. The state will take into account the construction of our cities. Today, the construction of our cities is an imperative because what we are experiencing, the health problem is due to the fact that there is no sanitation in our cities. The spaces are too large and we have opted to build in height. 2026 will see the beginning of great projects in this field of urbanization and population concentration to exploit the space and be able to assign so that our populations can live with dignity and in very good health in fairly clean centers on the environmental and health sides. In the mining sector, the year 2025 has seen major innovations. It was necessary for us to make sure that we appropriated our mining resources, which led the state to first appropriate a certain number of mines by buying with certain partners, but also by starting to exploit both industrial and semi-mechanized mines through the creation of the SOPAMP. Also, the uncontrolled gold exports have seen a significant decrease through the creation of the SOLAS-PE, which has allowed us to have control both on the traditional gold exports and on the industrial exploitation of our mining resources. The energy sector will also see a change in 2026 through the creation of an initiative which will be focused on water and energy to allow our populations to benefit from drinking water wherever they are, and also to benefit from electricity to be able to pay for their occupations. In this sense, we have started a number of projects in 2025 to increase the supply of energy and also to be independent, to reduce energy imports in Burkina Faso. Dear speakers, dear parents, 2025 has been a rich year in terms of agriculture and farming. We have set objectives for the Ministry of Agriculture, and by the grace of God, the weather was good, and we have exceeded the objectives for several speculations and others well achieved. Food self-sufficiency, which is a daily battle, we can say today that we have achieved food self-sufficiency during the year 2025. We will continue to make efforts in the agriculture sector in particular by buying machines for both labor and harvest, by doing free labor, strongly subsidized for the benefit of our populations, by subsidizing inputs, and also by providing quality seeds produced by our researchers. Many lands are being recovered by our combatant forces. We will quickly get down to work early in the year in the development of these lands to allow these populations to be able to exploit their land and increase our production.
That even though these people are making sure that we never know peace with all these activities and the attacks that we are seeing, according to him, we will chase away these people. Like some time back, he declared that it's either they run or they die. So the ball is in their court and they must choose which one that they think deem fit them. And as Africans, we continue to support our leaders to make sure we get our total liberation. This is a year that we are expecting all of us in Africa, the youth, to come together united. This isn't the time for us to be looking at, I am from Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, Benin, like Niger and Burkina, like, you know, the way we always divide ourselves. And this division is not helping any other person but the same person that is causing you pain. a lot of us still don't know who is truly the problem of the African. And for that matter, we continue to be running to the people that are causing us pain. And we do our best to make sure that we continue to support the people that are coming here to cause us a lot of pain. And those in the democratic elected, this is the time for us as the youth to know the kind of leaders that they are. It's not by speech, because when it comes to speech, these are leaders who give us everything, because now they've also studied the pattern and they know what we the youth are looking for. So they will give you the speech, but we have to look beyond the speeches of these people, because Captain Ibrahim Traore, just a few years that he came into office, isn't just talking, but he's working. We are seeing practical things that they are doing in order to unite the African. What is taking African Union, ECOWAS to do, these people are able to do it within the shortest possible time. And these are the same people who are fighting against them that claim they are looking for the African unification. And when they allow them to do one or two things, we believe them so much. And a lot of things are happening in Africa, and we need to look beyond, because these things that are happening are all in us always tell us the kind of people they are using to destabilize Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. And at the end of the day, these are the same people that will give us speech and we will be following. So we need to continue to support leaders in Africa that are giving us nothing but the best, because we as Africans, we need to start loving and uniting among ourselves. We need to cause a change. The people that are not allowing us to develop are the same people that we are always running to them, because they believe and claim that our leaders are the problem. So for that matter, today we are running after the leaders and not looking at the people that are making the leaders not work, because at the end of the day, according to one former CIA boss, these people, Yellow Popo, are the ones that are making sure they give us leaders that wouldn't be productive. We also saw the Kissinger report, what they are doing in Africa. So at the end of the day, like Dr. Arikana said, it takes two to tango, because when the leaders finish robbing the resources in Africa, it ends up in the hands of these people. Yet these are the same people that are pointing fingers at the leaders that they have given us. Democracy that we claim we are the ones who elected, we haven't elected any leader. They are the ones who always make sure they get us the leaders that they believe they can manipulate, the ones that are puppets. These are the ones they give to you, the African, as a leader. So we as Africans need to wake up and start fighting with the leaders that are doing everything possible to give us the sovereignty that we are looking for. We deserve to be free, but this freedom wouldn't be given to us on a silver platter. We need to work for it, and we need to fight for it. That's why we are seeing Venezuela and other places fighting for their total liberation from these people. So until we the Africans will start looking beyond the speeches that these people give us, we will continue to be where we are, because they have given us enough speeches and we haven't seen any change in Africa. So we cannot continue to be doing the same thing expecting different results. But with Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, we are seeing practical things that they are doing to make sure the African is totally free. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make African great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Burkina Faso.